All right, let's keep going. Now we are in functions. Okay. So functions work exactly the same as JavaScript. You create the function keyword, or you can say, or you use the function keyword, or you can say const my function and do that. You could do both. Okay. I'm gonna zoom in because I think it's a little zoomed out. Sorry about that for previous videos. But anyway, it tells us to node index.js, and we've got some sort of errors. Both arguments must be numbers. Yeah. So in JavaScript, you have to check manually if it is a number, and if you pass in something else, it will. I mean, it technically is valid JavaScript, but it's not great. It's not very useful. So we've got some error messages. I mean, obviously they're custom, but we still have some error messages. So they're telling us that print operations need to be numbers. So pass the right data and make sure we're passing in numbers instead of strings. Yay. Okay. Now we do this again. Great. Oh, but I don't think I did that with exclaim. Wait. Did you match the order of parameters? 6 name. Oh. So there we go. But the problem is we want to be able to make sure that we are passing in the correct type. So we're going to go now into JavaScript, and notice how this has like some 3 dots underneath it. It's because we haven't given any sort of type to, or assigned any type to this. And so if you don't assign anything, it'll assume it's any, which, here we go again. The any keyword sucks. And in my opinion, it should just throw an error regardless, like, hey, this is not the right type. So it's clear that we're trying to multiply it by 3, so we want this to be a number. So the way we do that is we do colon number. And there we go. Now value, the type of value is number. And so if I pass in anything that is not a number, so like triple num, it's going to have an error saying, hey, the type string is not assignable to the type number, which makes sense. Okay. So, and then we've got another thing over here. Greeting is probably a string. String value needs to be number, which notice we now have an error. It's because these are out of order. So Haya and 5. And TSC. Well, let's take a look at, oh, well, whatever. I already fixed that. Let's look at the JavaScript that's been created. Notice how we got rid of the colon and all of that stuff. And the number and all of that stuff. So now if I run node index.js, it works. Yay. So now we get into optional parameters. Optional parameters are quite useful because we can allow some, like a default parameter, or just allow you to not pass in anything at all to functions, which inside of the scope of the function, it is still safe, which is quite useful. TypeScript normally gives an error if we don't provide a value for arguments, yada, 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 but we can make it so you don't provide anything at all. So all I have to do is put a question mark right before the colon, and that says, hey, this might not exist. If it does, it's a string. If not, it's undefined. Okay. The other way to do this is to say status equals not ready, and then you can get rid of all of this stuff. And so status is still a string. Its type is a string, but if you don't pass anything in, it'll default to being status, which that is also applicable to JavaScript. It's not only exclusive to TypeScript, which is quite useful. So if I run that, we should see markets. Oh yeah, because I changed this. So there we go. Make sure it is a question mark right there. Run that, and there we go. So now if I say node and TSC so now I'm not ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Yay. Great. Oh, I already talked about this, default parameters. So if there's no parameter, then you can assign it to be something. Function proclaim would be a little easier if it was given default parameters. So status and repeat set not ready equals not ready. And notice how, oh wait, no, not mine. Repeat equals 1. So if I TSC, I get no error. Yay, we don't have an error. All right, now proclaim default parameters. Remove this unnecessary thing. Yeah, we talked about that already. Run. Oh, or 0. Run. Yay. Okay, inferring run types. TypeScript can also infer the types of values returned by functions. Yep. So if I have something, this will return a number. It knows it's going to return a number. If I change this to being a string, there's going to be an error saying, hey, this is not returning a string, which is very useful because then you can force your functions to be certain things. Quite useful. All right, so let's see how we can use it to fix bugs. Here, TypeScript, yada, 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 challenge. Let's try to create a variable, myvar, with a type number. What am I wait. Okay. myvar number. I'm going to make it let myvar is number. You must not use, equals get random number. You must not use this because it is inferred. You want to make it inferred. So now let myvar, it's a number because get random number is a number because math.random returns a number. And that's the only thing that get random number can return. Which if, in theory, if I did like if, I don't know, math.random is greater than 0.5, return hello, and return math.random. This can be either a number or hello, and so will this be. Okay, it'll be a string or a number. So we just need to make sure that the type inference is going to be a, like what we want it to be, which in this case, it's a number. I may not have functions other than provided by yay. Okay, so this should do it. So now my var is a number, and that's inferred. We don't have to, you are not required to put this colon number in. You do not have to do that. And so that's another kind of useful thing is if you assign a variable to be something that is returned from another function, that type is inferred. So yay. So now we can have explicit return types, which we already have. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, you should put a semicolon there. Whatever. So now we're importing a bunch of functions. This is so dumb. I really don't like this. This is a really, really dumb thing. Whatever. Okay. Okay. I'm going to fix this function before I move forward. So return F1, F2, F3. And then I'm going to return F9, F12. Okay, and then I'm going to put a comma after all of these. Num plus or minus 1. Like, that is the better way to do it, in my opinion, instead of this stupid switch case. Whatever. Okay, doesn't matter. I really don't like seeing stuff like this. And also putting a colon right after. What is this? I don't want that. Putting spaces between colons, that's just dumb. All right. You're designing an online multiplayer game with click run to save your changes. Okay. Let's verify that this works by saying console.log return fruit. I misspelled it. Run. Okay. In fact, only 11 out of the 12 functions, F1 through F12, correctly return the return type. So because that is always different. Let's take a look at this. What is get user choice? I want to see what get user choice is. Okay, well, I guess I can't. Whatever. So, what are you talking about? Let me type. Yeah, so we get this weird number. The functions F1 through F12 are not working correctly, but which one? It would be a nightmare to have to look through all that source code. That's why we've disabled that option for you. Great. Okay, fine. But doing something 12 times is too much work. Instead, let's have TypeScript. Okay, so the problem is we need to make sure that this returns a string, which, you just run all of it at once. Think about which kind of annotation can help you here. So we just need to have return a string, run. Okay, but I still don't see an error on any of these functions, which is stupid, so that's useful. Finally, we can figure out one of the functions having a problem. Which one? Okay, F1. This isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing. Okay, return fruit should return a string. So let num is number. Does that not return a number? No. Okay, well, let's do some binary algorithms. I could just do F1. I could just do this. Because I don't want to deal with that. I don't think it's working properly. They're making stupid mistakes. So I'm going to run that. GSC. Yep, it's throwing an error. Congratulations, node. Okay, so now F9 does not. Great, thank you so much. TypeScript is supposed to say, hey, this is failing. But no, it's not going to do that because it's incredibly stupid. F9, great. This is supposed to be throwing an error right here because F9 does not return a string. I shouldn't have to compile it. That is ridiculous. Come on, Codecademy, fix that. That's a problem. Okay. We'll now learn about the void return type. There are some things that are just kind of dumb. TypeScript has a bunch of types in it. Actually, I'm going to make this the next video, so you understand functions.